Hi, welcome everyone to a Q&A office hour call. I am just going to connect to our Facebook group and let's see here. All right. Hope you all are having a great week. Please let me know where you're joining us from in the comments. Okay, I connected my video source and for some reason it's not working. Hold on one second. Sorry. Just need to re-enter the studio, I think. Facebook makes it a little bit more difficult for us these days. Let's see, here we go. All right, I think we're good. Okay. All right, welcome Facebook friends. I think we're going live into our group right now. And there we go. All right, today is a really great topic. It is always a hot topic when we have conversations with our members and really just colleagues in general. Today's topic is the meal planning trap, and we're going to be talking about what works, what doesn't, and really why it matters. So for those of you just joining us on YouTube or LinkedIn or in our Facebook group, please just say hello in our comments. Let us know where you're joining us from. That's great. And Hillary is online with us today, as well as Molly. So please go ahead and say hello to them as well. And Hillary and Molly, if you can just let me know if the sound and video is good. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the group. So go ahead, say hello in the chat while I do a brief introduction. I am Jeanne Petrucci, registered dietitian nutritionist, and I'm the founder of Living Plate RX. And I am here, I'm a colleague, and I am here to support you with all of the resources and strategies that you need to help you grow your practice without burning out. Today's focus is going to be on meal planning, super hot topic, primarily because I think it's a huge pain point for practitioners. So if you are a food as medicine practitioner, whether you're a dietitian, a doctor of osteopathy, if you're a health coach working with an interdisciplinary team, meal plans tend to be a real sticking point for practitioners because they take a really long time. And so today we're going to be talking about really what works, what doesn't with my experience with meal planning, and why it matters and kind of what you can do to improve it. Hi, Maggie. Great. Oh, Hillary, thank you so much. Maggie, great to see you. Marcia, great to see you from Los Angeles. Hope you're doing well. I want to encourage all of you to ask questions throughout this session. You know, typically we're here for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how much engagement we have, how many questions you have. So if you have any burning questions, like even right now, just drop them in and my team and I will do our very best to get back to you. So meal planning can be a really great tool for supporting clients, but when done wrong, not only does it not support clients, but it can lead to burnout, like practitioner burnout, because there is wasted time and energy. And like I've been there, before I created the meal planning software that we have as part of Living Plate RX, I knew what to expect, and I wasn't always looking forward to it when a client would say, "Oh, can you make me a meal plan?" Well, back then, and that was only 10 years ago, it was pen to paper. I would create the meal plan and then they'd come back and be like, "Oh, but I really don't like salmon," or "My family didn't like this." And then I have to go back to pen and paper. And it was just a really big waste of time. At that time, when I opened up my private practice, there were other meal planning systems available, but they didn't fit my values and the way that I wanted to practice. I didn't want computers generating meal plans for my clients, but I didn't want to generate them from scratch either. So our Living Plate RX meal planner strikes a really, really nice balance. Oh, hi, Karen. Nice to see you here. So in the chat right now, for those of you who are joining me, I want you to drop in a raising hand emoji if you've ever struggled with meal planning in your practice, like what to create, or kind of, you know, we hear a lot about compliance, which I'm going to be talking about today. You know, you spend hours creating a meal plan and then clients don't follow them. So just, you know, put a raising hand emoji in comments for me and let me know, you know, kind of if you've ever felt that way. Today, the topic was, my team and I selected the topic, but our members in the Facebook group, Scale Your Nutrition Practice, we surveyed them and they told us what they wanted to talk about today. So here are the three things that we're going to be covering today. Number one, what is the biggest mistake practitioners make when providing meal plans, and how can we avoid them, right? So we're always going to give you an action. So we'll state the problem, we'll kind of unpack that, and then we'll give you a solution with an action that you can take. So what are the biggest mistakes? How can you make meal plans that are more flexible and sustainable for clients? Really important. If you're going to be spending the time to create meal plans, you want to make sure that they're impactful and that they actually drive better health outcomes. And then number three, what is the best way to help clients build long-term meal planning skills? I'm kind of like on fire about that one, because I actually have modified my meal planning skills for my kind of station in life, right? So if you have a client who is living alone and just cooking for themselves, those meal planning skills look a little bit different than somebody who is cooking for a family of 6. For me, I have a family, an extended family, right? But I also have grandchildren. So on any one night, I've got grandchildren coming over and I'm like, oh, meal planning has to look a little bit different. Not because I'm cooking different foods. I'm not. I'm always cooking the same foods for my grandkids. But just in terms of preparation, like I don't want to be cooking when they're there. I want to make sure that I have food for when they walk in the door. So again, just a little personal note there. I'm sharing so that you can understand that your clients will evolve kind of as their life evolves. So before we dive in, number one, at the end, I'm going to share some really exciting news with you, with members. I don't even think I've shared this news with you. So if you're a member, it's going to be new to you. If you're not a member, definitely news to you. So stay on the end. I'll share some great news with you about our meal planner. But I also want to let you know, if you are not a member yet, and you're ready to simplify your content creation process, like meal planning and client engagement, I'm going to be sharing an opportunity with you for us to personally connect so that you can access all the done-for-you resources, meal planning tools, and expert coaching kind of to help you grow faster. Remember, I'm your colleague, and my mission is to support you with growing your practice so you don't have to burn out, right? Like I left private practice so you don't have to, right? I was in private practice. I was trying to create content and meal plans and trying to serve my clients. And guess what? It doesn't work. It's impossible. So I left private practice so that you don't have to, really giving you all the tools that you need. So stick on and I will give you more information on connecting. Great. Oh, we see a lot of hand raises about people who've been struggling with meal planning. So let's go ahead and dive in. The question that got the most votes on the poll was, how can we as practitioners make meal plans more flexible and sustainable for clients? I'm going to say here, before I get into answering that question, a mindset shift is required on the practitioner side for us. I need you to understand, and those who are members have heard me say this before, that none of your clients will follow a meal plan. So if that's true, which it is, then why provide meal plans in the first place? And why spend the time creating meal plans? Because they can be a really valuable source and a wonderful space for you and your clients to have a conversation around food. My mission, in addition to helping you grow your practice without burning out, is to incorporate culinary instruction into nutrition care, because what the evidence says is that people struggle in the kitchen, right? They come to you most of the time knowing what they need to do. I need to eat more fruits and vegetables, and I need to watch my protein intake, yada, yada, right? But how do I do it? The how is the hard part for a lot of people. And, that is not just reserved for your clients and your patients. That's practitioners too. There are a lot of practitioners who struggle in the kitchen. Maybe they don't have confidence in the kitchen, but that shouldn't prevent you from providing resources to your clients so that they can gain confidence in the kitchen. So that's a benefit to working with me and my team, is that, we give you all of those resources, and we can help you with your confidence in the kitchen as well. A meal plan is not a mandate. Ever, right? So if you have ever handed a client a PDF meal plan, that's a mandate, right? It's not flexible. They can't change. I mean, they can modify things if you give them exchanges, but it's kind of a mandate. And I think that is why meal planning traditionally in our space, especially with registered dietitians, is kind of a hot topic. Like some dietitians like, I don't meal plan. Like, well, Why not? Why don't you meal plan? Well, it's a time suck, which yes, it can be. But patients don't comply. Well, that's not on the patient. That's on us, right? We don't want patients to comply to meal plans. That is a ridiculous statement. Nobody follows a meal plan. They can't, right? So you're not looking for compliance. You're using the meal planner as a teaching tool, and it's going to look different for every one of your clients and your patients, right? You're really looking for them to build sustainable kind of habits, and it should be simple and flexible. So the best meal plans are, I'm going to highlight a couple of things here. So the best meal plans are limited. This is one of the number one questions that we get. Hillary, I think you'll agree with me, kind of in our customer service area. One of the questions that new members have often is, whoa, I asked for meal plans. I want a 7-day meal plan. Like I want these templates populated for 7 days. That is not productive. That is overwhelming for your clients. So the best meal plans, and this is based on a lot of our experience and understanding how behavior change is going to happen for your clients, they should be no more than 4 days. Why? Because first of all, your client is not going to be cooking breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner, new recipes every single day, 7 days a week. That's where it becomes very unsustainable. But I think, at worst, it paralyzes people into inaction because it overwhelms them, right? So I love 4 days. Our meal planner goes from Monday to Sunday. And we start populating on Monday, right? So we have Monday, we don't populate Tuesday, then we'll have Wednesday, we don't populate Thursday, we'll populate Friday and Sunday. So what do you do? Why don't you guys tell me right now in the comments, what do you do? How do you plan then for meals and snacks on those days that are not populated? We have enough people on now who I know this answer. So tell me, on those days, if you are counseling a client and you give them a 4-day meal plan and the client looks at it and like, well, what am I going to do for the other 3 days? What are you as a practitioner going to say to them? What is a sustainable habit that your client can start engaging in so that they're eating 7 days a week, but are only looking at a meal plan that is 4 days a week? So drop in comments right now. I know plenty of you know this answer. So tell me, what are you going to put on those empty days? So a meal planner, your digital meal planner, should be populated no more than 4 days. 3 is okay, but I kind of find like 4 is the sweet spot. People feel like they have enough. They have 4 dinners. They're not going to make all 4 dinners, right? They're going to find 1 or 2 each week that they like. And we're going to get to kind of building a repertoire. Yes, Kara, Katie, Barbara. Yes, leftovers. Yes, think about how you eat. I packed my lunch from dinner last night today, which is, that is a habit that I practice. It's just part of kind of daily living for me. And that is a really good habit for your clients to practice as well. Because if they leave the house without something packed for lunch, potentially they're going to eat something that might derail their efforts for better health. So 4 days, limited. Best meal plans are limited, 4 days. They're also flexible. So a flexible meal plan allows clients to do a couple of things. Now, it allows them to search for recipes. It allows them to scale recipes. So if you are going to have a recipe for leftovers, let's say that I made the cashew chicken stir fry. I love that recipe. A cashew chicken stir fry. It's a sheet pan stir fry from the meal plans. Oh, that was great. I'm going to scale that recipe to serve 8 instead of 4, and then I'll have leftovers for 2 days, which is great that I can reheat at the office. So the client needs to be able to scale. The client should also be able to swap recipes. So let's say they don't like tofu or they don't like salmon. Well, you can either replace the protein, working with your practitioner. Now, I'm speaking from the client's point of view to understand what proteins could I use to swap in and out. You could do that or delete the recipe and find something else. So they need to be able to, build their meal plans and kind of have fun with it, experiment to find, this is an experience, right? You're not going to give them a meal plan and they're going to follow it exactly and, have this miraculous, transformation in the kitchen for themselves. It's going to take time. So baby steps, scale recipes, search recipes, replace proteins. Marcia, I'm just going to stop you for a second. Marcia's saying, I love dinner for breakfast too. Totally. Marcia, I had bison for breakfast this morning. I made bison 2 days ago. I batch cook. Just personal note here. And this is something that if I had clients now, I would teach them this. I batch cook ground proteins quite a bit because they're so flexible. So this week I'm doing chicken and bison, but I'll also do turkey, beef, more lean proteins for me right now, just because that's the dietary pattern that I'm choosing to follow. And it's just really great because you can have that for breakfast too. So I had it with a runny egg, Marcia, because I have chickens. Okay, so number one, best meal plans, limited. Number two, they're flexible. Number three, they follow a framework that teaches your clients eventually how to build their own plans. Now, this is the major problem that I have with algorithm-driven meal plans. Like there's the algorithms, if you punch in, calories, carbs, proteins, fats, nutrition prescription, and ask a computer to generate a meal plan, it's going to get the numbers right, but it's not going to get the experience right. There's so much about behavior change that a computer really shouldn't be figuring out for you. As a practitioner, you need to use your meal planner as a teaching tool, and as such, provide your patients and your clients with guidance on, number one, how was this meal plan created? And number two, how can you change it following a framework that fits your nutrition prescription? So a meal plan, should fit a nutrition prescription. So somebody is, whatever transformation somebody is looking at, let's say that they're, borderline diabetic, they're pre-diabetic, and they don't want to go on medication. And your role as a practitioner is to help them reverse their disease. Well, a low glycemic index meal plan is going to be in the cards. Now, they're not going to follow the meal plan, but it's going to be loaded with low glycemic index options, protein-rich options, lots of plants, lots of fiber. And a framework that we use within our membership is called the mealtime method. I use the mealtime method to create every week of every meal plan that everybody sees inside of Living Plate RX. And I encourage you, the members, to also use the mealtime method. Now, the mealtime method is a 6-5-4-3-2-1. That's going to be another session. We'll go into that in depth. But essentially, it takes different categories of foods. You edit the list of foods based on the nutrition prescription. So for example, 6 represents low glycemic index vegetables. Just pick 6. Broccoli, bok choy, carrots, cucumbers, whatever, right? You're just going to pick 6. Then you're going to pick 5 grains and moderate glycemic index vegetables, things like butternut squash, sweet potatoes, quinoa, oats. Then 4 is your fruits. Pick 4 fruits that you're going to be eating throughout the week, just 4. And then we have proteins, right? 3 proteins: turkey, bison, chicken. Done, right? And so you fill out the mealtime method, and then it's like, whoa, putting together a meal plan is pretty easy. Eventually your clients aren't going to need to rely on a digital meal plan. And that's the goal, actually, right? When I had clients when I first started using digital meal planning in my practice, when clients would come in, like, you know what? I'm like, good. Like, I have 6 to 8 recipes on repeat. I've got these great soups, sheet pan dinners. I'm good. Great. Then just refer to the meal planner when you need to. It's part of my services that I offer here, but now you're referring to it less. That's what you want. You don't want them to be dependent. Okay, number 4 on the best meal plans are also simple, right? So how can we make meal plans like more simple, flexible, sustainable? Like literally keep it simple. Your meals and snacks should include things like stacked meals. Not every cell, when I say a cell, breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, like, so breakfast is a cell. Not every meal cell has to be a recipe. It could be chicken, broccoli, brown rice. So you could stack a meal too. That's how my family and I eat at home. It's like, okay, if you ask somebody, actually, I'm going to ask you guys right now, what are you having for dinner tonight? What's the first thing that you think of? I want you to tell me in comments, what are you having for dinner tonight? Even if it's leftovers, or what are you making? What's the first thing you're going to come out and say? For me, it's usually the protein. And I will tell you that for 80% of your clients, if not more, see, Kara said chicken. First thing is going to be the protein always, because that tends to be the easiest. Roasting a chicken, grilling some salmon, roasting tofu, pretty straightforward and easy. It's like all the other stuff that people really struggle with. So you start with the protein. It's like, okay, what's going to work with this? Simple quinoa and broccoli, we're good. I think the game changer for these stacked meals is the 1 in the mealtime method, right? 6, 5, 4, 3. I said 3 was 3 proteins. 2 is healthy fats, seeds, and nuts. And 1 is like a dressing, like a homemade dressing or a flavor booster. That's the game changer for these stacked meals, or something like a kimchi. So today I brought my bison with cauliflower rice. I'm going to have a nice helping of kimchi on the side with that, right? So some kind of a flavor booster. Maggie is saying leftover ground turkey, right? You guys are not disappointing here. You are doing great. Leftover ground turkey in stuffed peppers. Maggie, I love that. So repurposing the ground meat to make something else. I highly recommend batch cooking ground beef or even crumbled tofu. Seasoned crumbled protein just is so flexible. Maggie, I love what you're doing. Marsha is saying, whatever my son makes. He's vegan and he loves to cook. That's awesome, Marsha. Good for you for raising a cooker. We are now on our 3rd generation of people who lack kitchen confidence. So the goal of everybody on this call should be to raise the next generation with some of confidence in the kitchen. That's great. Felicia is saying crab cakes. Karen is saying tofu, right? Okay. So you get it. If you ask your clients what they're making tonight, they're going to say the protein first. So the idea of keeping it simple with these stacked meals is really great. So in our meal planner, you can search chicken, like Italian herb roasted chicken. Even somebody with, on the scale of culinary confidence of 1 to 10, even somebody with a 2 or a 3 can do that. Even somebody who doesn't like cooking can roast a chicken. Right? So roast the chicken, buy frozen quinoa or frozen rice. All you have to do is defrost it, and buy frozen vegetables. This morning, before I left the house, I took 2 packages of butternut squash, frozen, dumped it on a sheet pan with some garlic oil and roasted it for tonight for dinner. So it doesn't have to be complicated. Simple, simple, simple. So don't always think, oh, everything has to be a recipe. It's not realistic. Okay. So lots of great, I love what you guys are having for dinner. Kara saying, I love eggs anytime. Me too. I have chickens, so we eat a lot of eggs. Eggs are great. Okay, so let's move on to your action step. So your action step is to look at your meal planning process, and are you giving enough flexibility, and are you keeping it simple for your clients? So reflect on what makes the best meal plan. Is it limited, about 4 days? Is it flexible? Can they scale it, swap recipes, change recipes? Is it based on a framework? Now, our Living Plate RX members, you don't have to create the framework. I've got you. It's a mealtime method. We're going to do a separate session on that, but you can go into the library and access that information. And then, is it simple, right? Focusing on stacked meals. So tell me what your action step is going to be. For those of you who have been meal planning for a while, of these 4 things, the best parts about, really great sustainable meal plan, what are you going to focus on? Is it going to be stacked meals, exploring the mealtime method framework, maybe flexibility, limiting meal plans? Go ahead and drop in the comments what you're thinking. But that's your action step. So that's your takeaway for question number 1. All right, question number 2, what's the best way to help clients build long-term meal planning skills? So I alluded to this a little bit already when I was talking about what I'm eating for lunch. Here's an exercise I want you to go through with me, because I want you to do a little bit of thinking. I want you to think about the meals and the snacks that you make and that you consume at home. Just think about that for just 5 seconds. If you are like most people, you probably follow the same dietary pattern, eating the same foods, making the same meals regularly, right? Like, you have a repertoire. It would be really rare to find someone or even have a client who makes a new recipe for breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner every single day of the week. That is not sustainable, right? So the issue with clients, most of the time they're coming to us, is because they've fallen into the wrong repertoire. That it's not serving them. It's not helping them meet their health goals. So your job is to help them create a new repertoire. And I think when you're having this conversation around the meal planner, and when you're having conversation around food and cooking with your clients, I would focus on that. We're going to find you a new repertoire, because it's a rinse and repeat. You're not going to be in the kitchen every day. You're going to be able to order out, but we need to establish a new repertoire. And I think that's going to take some time. So for those of you who are in private practice, I think a 3-month program hits the spot. You know why I'm saying 3 months? Because a 90-day dietary pattern is going to be kind of the gold standard that you go for. If you can change somebody's dietary pattern in 90 days, it's more likely that they're going to get a better health outcome. Now, I'm also saying 90 days because our members have access to the BioScreen dietary assessment tool. It's a visual dietary assessment tool, essentially an FFQ for those practitioners on with me. This is a validated tool. So it has been used in research for more than 2 decades. It measures somebody's 90-day dietary pattern. It does a 90-day look back. So unlike a food recall, a dietary recall, which is just going to show a 1-week look back or a 3-day look back, the BioScreen tool gives you data on their 90-day dietary pattern. That's what you want to change. We are not in the business of changing somebody's dietary pattern for 1 week, right? We need to change it for 90 days. So you take that measurement as soon as they walk in the door, even before they walk in the door, you get that data. 90 days later, do this style of meal planning and use all the support that you have inside of Living Plate RX, and then take that measurement again with your clients, and you will almost certainly see an improvement, which means that they're going to get a better health outcome. You only need a 5-point improvement, by the way. So for those of you who are not familiar with BioScreen, you can let us know here, drop a comment, and we'll get you information on it. We're actually doing an event tomorrow for our members. Marcia, so here's some commitments coming in from question number 1. Actions, stacked meals. Maggie, stacked meals, great. Linda's saying the mealtime method. Excellent. So that we've got plenty of people taking action now on question number 1. All right, so this question number 2, which we're talking about now, is how do you help them develop meal planning skills? The goal here, just as a reminder, is to help them develop a repertoire of meals. So that is like the ultimate meal planning skill. It's not, leaning on a meal planner for the rest of their lives. It's eventually kind of, taking off the training wheels and going on their own. So right now in the comments, I want all of you to drop 1 snack that you have on repeat. What is your favorite snack? So drop this in comments. Tell me, what is your favorite snack on the repeat? Like if you could eat it every day, you would. I'm going to tell you what mine is because it's pretty much everybody's favorite in my house. And I make it interesting for my grandkids. I'll tell you how I do it. So I'm going to go first. Again, drop in comments, what is your favorite snack that you have on a repeat? For me, it is either an apple or a pear. So a crisp fruit with nut butter and hemp seeds. It could also be nut butter and flax, but I just like to get that healthy fat in. If I'm looking for extra protein that day, then I'll also have a hard-boiled egg. I always have hard-boiled eggs in my fridge. So that is mine. And I would have that every day. Now for my grandkids and for my kids when they were little, I would cut the apple like in a circle. And if you're a Living Plate RX member, if you if you search apple wheels in the search function of your meal planner, you'll see what I make pretty much every day. I cut them into discs, and then I use a really tiny cookie cutter that's a flower or a heart to punch out the seeds in the middle. And my grandkids love it. And we put the nut butter on the outside, and we also do some chocolate chips every once in a while, right? You could also sprinkle it with coconut, and then it kind of resembles Girl Scout cookies, the Samoas. So yeah, so let's see what you guys have. Pickles. Oh gosh, I love pickles. Overnight oats is a snack. Love that. That is one of my my older children's favorite. I have 2 athletes in my house right now, so they're always looking to increase their protein. So it's like a protein overnight oats, or even before they work out, they'll take a few mouthfuls of that. So that's really great. Maggie is saying apple, peanut butter, hemp seeds, cinnamon, and a drizzle of honey. Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, pickles are great. Let's see, pumpkin seed, flax granola with milk. Lovely. That's a great, great snack. So if you're instructing your clients on snacks and you want to kind of do that stacked method, like the modular meals, then a snack could be look at your mealtime method, pick 3 different things. Pick a seed, pick a protein. Now a protein could be a plant-based protein as well. And then a fruit. Fruit is great for snacks. It's great in salads too, but fruit is great to kind of get on a meal plan for a quick snack. All right, so you guys did great. Walnut stuffed in a date. Sabina, you just reminded me of one of my other favorite snacks. I usually have that as my second snack of the day. I always eat 2 dates before I go to bed, and sometimes I'll put like a nut in there. Which one did I have last night? A baru nut, I think I had, with a little bit of nut butter and just dipped it in some hemp seeds. So yeah, like lots of creativity going on here and easy stuff. This is not hard for your clients to do. And clients do struggle with, creating snacks as well as meals. So thanks for sharing, everybody here. Okay, so the goal of meal planning, again, is for your clients to establish a new repertoire of meals and snacks that they can put on repeat. These meals are going to support them in meeting their health goals, right? So it's not random, and you're not asking a computer algorithm to generate snacks. Like, they're very specific. If somebody's looking to increase their protein goals, then you have to make sure that there's a certain level of protein in the breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner to help them meet their overall goals. So you're going to use a meal planner as a resource for your client to explore an eating pattern that's different than what they currently have. So they have a repertoire that's not working. You're going to shift them to a repertoire that does work. So I have put together a list here. Here's how you can help clients build confidence in meal planning. Use a framework, which we've already talked about. In teaching them the framework, graphics are wonderful, right? So they're great for visual learners, but you can talk about a framework, but that's one thing, but actually showing somebody a framework and giving them a worksheet is like game changing. So use the tools that you have in your library. We have the mealtime method. We have pre-populated mealtime method sheets. I usually create 4 weeks per nutrition prescription, but we also have a blank one. So your client, if they don't like the foods that are on the list, just change it, right? Cross it out and change it, or make your own. I would also say that, so that's for kind of the food selection, but then also proportions of things. We typically follow the Harvard School of Public Health plate with our graphics. So a plate graphic is always a winner. And our graphics traditionally are 75% low glycemic index plants with seeds, nuts, and grains, and 25% high quality animal protein. So 75% or more plants. So that could be tofu, quinoa, as well as, chicken, the plants. So low glycemic index and moderate glycemic. And then 25% or less animal protein. So you could have 100% plant-based protein. The 25% of your plate that is animal protein, just high quality animal protein. That's it. Chicken, turkey, bison, that kind of thing. But you can always change that. All of these plates are editable inside of your library. So you can choose to create your own plate if you have a different philosophy. So having a plate and kind of a vision could help people put it together and help them with not only proportions of the plate, but also portion sizes. So number 2, another tip that I can give you about, helping your clients create good meal planning skills and helping them kind of develop this new repertoire is to use the meal planner in the counseling session to set goals. Set goals around the meal planner, like culinary goals. So, a goal is not eat more fruits and vegetables. That is not a SMART goal. A SMART goal is I'm going to make 2 no-cook breakfasts this week, and I'm going to batch cook them so that I have 5 different servings. Right? Really, really specific. So when you're doing the goal setting, make sure that it's a SMART goal. Make sure it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic for them and relevant to their nutrition prescription, and that it's also time-bound, right? So I would say per week, maybe 3 goals around the meal planner. And they can look at it. You can show it to them in the session. Like, what are you feeling like you want to accomplish this week? They're like, I'm going to make a soup. Great. That was almost always one of the goals for my clients when I was counseling, because soups can be really flexible in terms of kind of time and busy lifestyle. You batch cook a pot of soup that can serve, 8 to 10 people. And then you can ladle it into even like a Yeti and take it on the road and sip it for your snack. That could be really great too. So really flexible, love soups, love sheet pan dinners, and also no cook recipes. Remember, recipes don't always have to require like heat and prep. Like, it's fine. If they just want to make the apple wheels, that's great. So a SMART goal could be another one that I can give you here. I'm going to make 2 no-cook snacks and a pot of soup from the meal plan this week. Great. That is a SMART goal, and that is measurable. When they come back, did you accomplish that? And if you didn't, let's talk about it. Was it too hard to make the soup? Let's find something simpler. Or if you nailed it, great. I want you to do it again, and let's add one more thing to your repertoire. Okay, so even if they make a recipe and they're kind of like, I didn't really like that, fine. You don't have to love everything that you're making and eating, but let's explore some other things, some other options. Shez is saying, meal plans include diabetes, have a fat content that is, oh, okay. So Shez is asking about changing the fat, the content of the fat content of some of the meal plans. So that's a really great question, Shez, and a really great point to put up here for this conversation. Our meal planner is not driven by algorithms. So you're not going to look at a meal plan and say, adjust the fat for this day and then change all the foods. That's not how it works, right? You actually have to change the foods. Now, I would not ever spend time curating a day or even a week to hit very, very specific goals, right? You always, number one, you want a range of goals for the macros that you're trying to hit, and also understand that nobody's going to follow the meal plan. So even if you create a meal plan that hits very specific targets, it's not really, your clients aren't going to hit those targets because nobody's going to eat breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner like that every day, right? So it really should be a teaching tool. I would identify, like as I'm working with the clients, those key recipes that do hit specific macro targets that you're looking for and have them focus on that. Your goal would be to get them to a repertoire that does meet those specific targets. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to go on to how you can help them build confidence. The last point here is encouraging the modular meal planning, which we already talked about, and a lot of you are already committed to doing. So the modular meal plan is not, a meal is not a recipe. It is stacked with protein, usually proteins, vegetables, and potentially a grain if that's on their meal plan. Okay, so your action step here is to practice setting goals around a client's meal plan. So what I want you all to drop in right now is think about a client that you might be working with now, or even yourself, right? What is one SMART goal that you would want somebody to use, around the meal planner? What would you have them do? Pick one and just drop that in here. And remember the example that I gave you. I'm going to make 2 no-cook snacks this week, for me to take to work, something like that. So I want you to drop in what is a SMART goal that you would offer to your clients around the meal planner. So practice setting goals. That is the biggest takeaway for helping clients to kind of move them along health behavior change. Make no mistake, cooking is a health behavior. So people start cooking and people start developing culinary confidence, it will drive a better health outcome, right? So you need to support them using the meal plan as a resource. Again, not a mandate. All right, question number 3. What are the biggest mistakes practitioners make when providing meal plans? So there are a few common mistakes that I see all the time with colleagues, and it usually comes out of messaging that I'm hearing from our members or people who have tried other meal planning programs and they're coming to Living Plate. And, we talk about this, like making a mistake, using a meal planner is great because then you learn from it, right? And then you improve your process. So the number one mistake is making meal plans absolute. And Shez, this is kind of what I was referring to when I was answering your question. If you crafting a meal plan that is exactly what the client needs, like exactly their macro targets, all of their allergies, their preferences. If you remember the answers to questions 1 and 2, then this is going to make sense. Why you should never create an absolute meal planning. Why, like a meal plan, an absolute meal plan. Why would you spend hours creating something that your clients aren't going to be able to follow? They're not going to comply, quote unquote, with a meal plan. Don't spend all of that time. It really is used only as a resource and a space to have a conversation around food and set realistic goals. So the number one mistake is spending too much time making meal plans that are absolute. The meal plan should address a nutrition prescription. It should be full of foods that help clients kind of develop a new repertoire that meets a nutrition prescription, but it doesn't have to exactly meet a nutrition prescription. And I know that gets scary with some prescriptions, something like kidney disease, where you do have to significantly limit intake of certain nutrients. But even there, your clients are not going to be eating everything that you're proposing on the meal plan. So don't bother trying to make it absolute. We often get questions like, why can't I screen out tree nuts, for example, if your client has an allergy to tree nuts? When you screen out recipes, number one, you screen out a lot of really great recipes that are in the meal planner that potentially include tree nuts that can be edited, right? But you are also eliminating every possible teaching moment for that client. So if your client has a tree nut allergy, you can set an alert on their meal planning account so that when walnuts or any other tree nut appears in their meal planner, a little alert sign will alert them. This recipe contains an allergen. Okay, well, they're going to take a look at the apples. Let's say they have a peanut allergy. The apples with peanut butter and hemp seeds. Wow. Just because that appears on their meal plan does not mean they're going to eat it. You are counseling them. You are providing education. The answer is replace the peanut butter with sun butter or another, butter that you're not, nut butter that you're not allergic to, right? So that's the teaching moment that I'm talking about. And I feel like the reason why we don't include algorithms is very, very deliberate. I mean, that has been a deliberate decision, and it is one of the biggest differentiators between my meal planning system and everybody else's, because everybody else is so focused on creating this absolute meal plan. It has to exactly match my client's goals. No, it does not, and it should not, because you are a teacher, you are a counselor, and you need to help them develop a new repertoire in a world that has these allergens, right? And if they don't like salmon, great. You can put that alert on their meal planner too. This recipe contains salmon. What's your client going to do? I'm going to replace the protein, right, with something else, or I delete the recipe. So this goes back to providing flexibility. Oh, Felicia is saying she did not know about this allergy alert feature. She's super excited. Great. Well, now you can go in and explore. Felicia, if you need any help with that, please use the chat widget on the Living Plate RX website and reach out to Hillary, and she'll show you exactly where that is so you can start using it. Yeah, super fun. And Shez is also saying that, her clients are expecting to see a meal plan that exactly meets their nutrition prescription. So if you have clients that are, a little sticky that way and just really want to see exactly what this meal plan is going to be, then just hide the macros. You can hide the nutrition facts, and then they don't see them. And it's really just all about the food, which is fantastic, because again, the goal is to have this space where you can have a conversation around food, right? Not the macros, because people eat food, not macros. That's great, Shez. I love that idea. Okay. Mistake number 2 is not considering a client's lifestyle and cooking skills. If a client hates cooking, don't give them a meal plan in the first session. That would be terrible. That would be like, even if it's a 3-day, 4-day meal plan, like they don't want to see that. I got to make all this food. It's going to be defeating, right? Maybe print out 3 PDFs or give them a small recipe pack. Say, here's some ideas. Here's some no-cook snack recipes for you. Try a few of those, right? So you need to consider not only their culinary confidence, but kind of their lifestyle. Pretty much everybody who walks through your doors right now is time poor. They just don't have the time that they need to get in the kitchen as much as they want to. So considering that, I would say that you should use a culinary assessment. We provide you with one. So inside of your library, there's a nutrition and culinary assessment. Take a look at that and issue it to your clients when they first come in with you, because then you'll know, like on a scale of 1 to 10, what their confidence level is. I really should have brought it down. It's upstairs in my counseling room. In my counseling room, I had like a little ruler, and it just was 1 to 10. Like it was really, really simple, and I had it laminated. And whenever we would start talking about goals and setting goals around the meal planner and foods, I would ask them, not what is your confidence that you can, what is your culinary confidence? It is on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you that you can make 2 no-cook snacks this week? Wow, 10. Great, done. That's your goal for this week. How confident are you that you can make 5 new sheet pan dinner recipes this week? Well, almost everybody's going to say, even if they lack time or confidence, they're going to say, oh, that's a 2. I'm not going to be making 5 new recipes. Right. right? So you see how that works. So the goal setting is really, really important, and understanding kind of where they are with time, lifestyle, and also culinary confidence. Mistake number 3, providing meal plans because it's what the client wants and it's what they expect, right? If everybody wants a meal plan, like, shouldn't you give it to them? No, because not everybody is appropriate for a meal plan. If somebody has a history of disordered eating or eating disorders, no, you do not give them a meal plan, especially not at the beginning. What if somebody is not digitally savvy, right? Like, they're maybe, and it's not necessarily an age thing, because my mom is very tech savvy. So it's not an age thing, but it's really like, what is their comfort level? Like, how much time do they want to invest? Are they going to log into the meal planner? If not, it's pointless, right? So you have many, many, many options inside of your library. You can give them a meal pack, like a recipe pack, or you can just print off recipes and give it to them. You can send them a cooking video, something fun like that if they're a visual learner. So mistake number 3 that a lot of practitioners make is just giving meal plans because everybody wants them. Mistake number 4. Now, this is not related to kind of counseling, MNT, or practice. This is more a business thing. Mistake number 4 is a big one, thinking that meal planning is going to generate passive income for you. I think that my members who are on with me have heard me talk about it enough. Like, meal plans and meal planning software, it's only one small part of an entire nutrition intervention. It's just one small part. Now, my competitors, a lot of them will say meal planning will transform your practice. No, meal planning, I've been in practice. Meal planning does not change your practice, but meal planning can be an important part of building a nutrition intervention, right? That's why Living Plate RX, like, if Living Plate RX existed when I was in practice, I would still be practicing. That would be great, because I'd have all the tools that I need to build an intervention. So meal planning, like meal plans, especially now where everybody can be in the meal planning business because they can generate meal plans on AI, you're not going to be selling meal plans kind of a la carte. I think if you have a certain level of influence, if you are an influencer and you have a great solid following, maybe, but I would say more typically, and something that I advise all of our members to do, is take meal planning, which is high value to clients when they first come in, because everybody comes in hot for a meal plan, right? And bake it into a more robust nutrition intervention. So those are the 4 mistakes. Your action step is to start. This is one that I'm picking for you because I don't think enough people do it. Make sure you include a culinary assessment in your assessment process. So issue the bioscreen assessment so that you'll get the 90-day dietary pattern look back, right? We want to change somebody's dietary pattern. So you can't change what you can't measure. So do that first. And then when they come in, or just prior to them coming in, you can have them complete a kind of a culinary assessment. It really is just a number of questions that gives them a score, based on how confident they are in the kitchen. Oh, hey, Karen, good. I'm glad that you're enjoying the information today. All right, so that is our session on meal planning. It is an amazing tool when it's used the right way, or a way in, that serves your practice. I think meal planning traditionally has always gotten a bad rap, not because of meal plans or meal planning, but because of how they were used, right? So rewatch this recording. This recording is going to be on the Facebook group, and take a listen, another listen to the 3 topics that we covered, and take an action on each one of those. And then you're going to be moving yourself much closer to using meal planning in a sustainable way that will not only drive better practice growth, but better outcomes for your clients. So know that if you're not a member, with us, you never have to create meal plans from scratch. And again, meal plans are just one part of what Living Plate RX offers, all of the content and resources that we offer. But, right off the bat, you'll never have to create a meal plan again. Big news is, remember I told you to stay to the end, I'm going to share some big news with you. We are relaunching the meal planner in about, I want to say 4 to 5 weeks. Now, software development, we always give ourselves a little wiggle room. But my team and I have been working really hard since August of last year, and we are implementing changes that you have asked for. We had a panel of very active members who use our meal planner all the time telling us what do they want. So you're going to see not only a lot of improvements, but a better user experience for both you and your patients. So as we get closer to relaunching the meal planner, we're going to start making announcements, and one day you're going to wake up and log in and there it's going to be. Everything is going to be in one space now. So accessing your meal planner and the recipe database and issuing meal plans is going to be just a lot more seamless for you. So I'm really, really excited. So for those of you who are not members yet, just know that with us, you get done for you meal plans by Nutrition Prescriptions. So you get all of these templates so that you can customize, call your own, and they're automatically branded for you. You also get kind of the automations inside our meal planner. Remember, I talked about being simple and flexible. Our meal planner is 100% customizable by both you and the client. I often describe it as like a two-way mirror. So when my clients would come in, we'd insert the meal plan. They could see it. I could see it. If they make changes, you can see those changes. And if you make changes, they can see the changes. So again, having the conversation, right? This beautiful conversation around food requires dialogue. And so that's the way a meal planner should work. You issue it to the client and you both make changes. Eventually, they're running on their own, and then you can, kind of tap in and take a look at what they're doing. Also, we provide a lot of support, coaching and training to support you with client engagement, client management, meal planning, and then also business growth. So for those of you who are not members yet, so this link that Hillary's going to drop in and the link that Molly's going to drop in now is for a demo call. So if you have not yet seen the inside of Living Plate RX, let me open the doors for you and welcome you. And I'm going to take you on a demo. For all of my members who are on right now, can you just pick a word right now that describes kind of how you feel, how you felt when you first got access to all the resources in Living Plate RX? Just type in one word what was the emotion you felt? For me, if I was a practitioner logging in, I know I would feel relief, immediately, because they're truly all of the resources that you need in your practice to build these not only really robust nutrition interventions, but also to support you with practice growth, a lot of marketing tools as well. So for those members who are on right now, Annalie is saying excited. Great. Members, please drop in one word that explains how you first felt when you logged into Living Plate RX. So during the demo call, for those of you who are not members, I'm going to show you how you're going to save hours of time every week, not just creating meal plans, but all the content that you need, right? Remember, your clients aren't paying you to create a meal plan. Your clients aren't paying you to create a handout. They're paying you to get them a transformation. So that's what you need to focus on. Let me and my team worry about everything else. We'll give you everything else that you need. You want to create flexible and sustainable meal plans that work for your clients. So I'm going to show you that. And I'm also going to show you kind of how the tools, the automation and the tools all work together. So if you are ready to stop creating meal plans from scratch and you want to start focusing on what you love and kind of what your patients, remember, are paying you to do, type let's go. Let's say, if we don't have members here, if you're not a member, type let's go. We're going to get you that demo link. So click the link in the comments, grab your spot in the demo call. You really don't want to wait. So I'm now opening up the floor for any other questions. Maggie is saying she felt relief because everybody wanted a meal plan. And as you said, no one follows it. Right? So we have some members saying that, what was the emotion that they felt when they first logged in? Relief. Yes, that would be one. And I am here to give you relief. All colleagues. Nobody should have to, try and grow practice and create all the content that their clients need. Nobody, because it's not possible. I'll tell you right now, it's just not sustainable. You're not going to have a good quality of life. Right. So let us worry about the evidence-based content, the evidence-based meal plans. You worry about, connecting with your clients, which is really what's going to drive the revenue. Kara is saying, let's go. Great. That's great. Linda's saying, this is great. Wonderful. So if you are watching the replay, just comment a hashtag replay and let me know what your biggest takeaway from today's session is. And also let me know how I can help you. Don't forget, if you're not a member, click the link for the demo call, and we'll get you on a call, walk you step by step through really all of the support that we have for you, and open up the doors into the library so that you can come on. I'll be your docent, right? I'll take you for a tour of the library. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. Amy has a comment, right? So some questions coming in. I'm trying to learn the Living Plate platform and had to step away from training for a few minutes. So are you suggesting using the modular method and not the meal planner itself? Oh, Amy, that's a great question. When I'm talking about the modular method or the mealtime method, that is used with the meal planner, because you will have the conversation, Amy, with your clients about stacking, right? Stacking meals, but then you also need to show them that, right? So, you're teaching and then showing the how to, because that's how behavior change works, right? So just teaching somebody about modular meal planning, that's only going to get people so far. You need to show them how to do it. And that's what the meal planner is for, Amy. So you can go into the meal planner, and if you really want to focus in on, building these modular meals, then just build a meal plan with modular meals, right? So, chicken, broccoli, quinoa, turkey, bok choy, brown rice. Like, just start building these modular meals for your clients, and they'll be able to follow that really easily, and they'll be able to generate a grocery list. We are integrating with Instacart. That's part of our new launch at the end of this month, so you can all look forward to that too, if that's something that's important to you and your clients. All right, Amy, did that help you with that? So yes, you still need to use the meal planner, but it's just as a resource. Eventually, Amy, your clients are not going to be referring to the meal planner quite as much, because they're going to develop this new repertoire that's going to help them meet their health goals, right? Until the next time they have to do a reassessment with you and kind of readjust, right? Because it can be dynamic, right? Behavior change is not linear. People get to a certain point and then they need your support again, right? And that's important. That's why it's important to keep clients engaged between sessions, and we support you with a lot of content to do that. Okay, so great, Amy. Yeah, we're here to support you. The demo call, Amy, is only for people who are not members, but Amy, reach out to us inside of the chat widget in Living Plate RX, and we'll get you the support that you need. Shez is saying, would it be possible to arrange a small group call for existing member? Yes, the demo call is because we have thousands of members. So hosting, live demo calls is always really difficult to do. It's not something that we do, Shez, but if you have something very specific that you're learning, that you want to learn how to do, we can send you the videos for it. We can point you in the direction to where the tutorials are. We have these base tutorials that are on the platform, but Shez, I think I've spoken to you before. You said you went through all the tutorials and you still had questions. Chances are the answer to all of the questions that you have, it's living somewhere. We just need to show you where that is. Great. Thank you, Hillary, for noting that. All right. So anybody who has questions, if you're a member, reach out to Hillary inside of the help desk. She's there to support you, and she'll get you in touch with the right person to get you what you need. Okay. All right. Well, thank you again so much. It's really great spending time with you all. I can't wait for our next Q&A session. As a reminder, we do these Q&A sessions twice per month. And then for members, we have a strategy session. So strategy session. Shez, strongly recommend that you attend a strategy session. That is the one time per month that we open up a Zoom call to our membership. Anybody can come in. You can ask questions. I usually focus on one particular topic. The last one we did was around building a business plan, a business strategy plan. Another one was how to do marketing messaging. So I think the next one coming up is around meal planning, which I think, Shez, will be of interest to you. So make sure that you sign up for that strategy call. The link to join these strategy calls is inside of the library. So go ahead and grab the date. Hillary, do we have the date for the next strategy call? If we do, drop it here. And then as soon as we have all of the information and the link ready for that, Shez, and everybody else, it will be in your library. There's an entire section in the Learn area of your library that will have that link. So strongly recommend the strategy sessions. They're amazing. All right. Thank you again, everybody. I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great week. Bye.